correct him to speak, you see?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Good job.
We did it, girl. High five.
Yeah,
I love you. That was nice. That was great. So, what did you do today that you are so freaking tired? Olga. God.
Okay, what happened? Olga?
I guess that's my connection.
Okay, okay, that's fine. Welcome back
Okay.
again. So we got
Oh,
about 19 people in the class. Probably, I don't know. Are we gonna have any more, Mike? You know, you can send me a private message. You can tell me
you can
if
wait a few more
you
minutes,
have been
and if
made
not, you
aware.
can start the lesson.
Okay, I can wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, at 20,
Oh, nice.
going up, going up. Stock prices are going up. So how's it going? Welcome back again. I'm so happy to be with you, and we're just gonna have another fun Saturday. How you guys
Oh, yeah.
doing? Huh?
Not bad, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your meal, by the way.
Thank you very much. And Mike, I have a suggestion. I guess this is your choice. I mean, this is your decision at the end of the day. I think now it's the time to elevate the degree and the rank of two of the training moderators, Olga Smikolova and Lily, to the fully moderator from the training to the full. I don't know. This is your decision, but I think it's the time to do that. Anyways,
Oh my
that was
God.
something I was thinking about before the classes started. And then you guys wanted to talk. You wanted to backbite me. You wanted to talk behind me. Okay, good luck with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Have
Oh
something to
gosh,
share.
you see, Olga, you
Look
see
what
what the
Mike is
boss
saying. Look what
said?
Mike is saying. They said they didn't pay
Yeah,
the full tax.
we didn't pay the full tax. So Mike, boss, tell us how much should we pay? Like the
Mike, I
first
don't have
option we
money.
gave you. Come on,
Can I
or
pay
now,
somehow else?
Olga, now or never. Come on.
Oh, yes.
Okay, now I have a question before I start the class. I just want to see how is the video quality right now?
Mm,
It's good, but
it
still,
was
you should
better
play
sometimes.
for better.
Previous time or maybe a week before, it was really amazing. But now a bit worse.
Yo, you don't see that I'm completely clean shaven right now, that I don't have any beard?
No.
Oh yeah, you have that nice skin like a little baby. Oh yes.
Oh,
Wait.
Mwah.
okay. All right. Smooches. All right, guys. So happy to be
Oh
back.
gosh, Mike.
What?
What do you think?
Mike, it takes time. Come on.
Come on, Mike. I gave you 500
Yes,
millions. I don't have any much money. Isn't that
Mike.
too much?
And
What,
we've got even less than we gave you.
what the fuck is milliard?
Sorry?
What is milliard?
Billion,
Oh,
Cyrus.
billion.
Yeah,
Oh, I
billion.
see. Cool. That's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, it is. You see how much did I pay? And still he wants more from me.
Oh man, the hustler, huh?
He will bet me now for sure. I will not get the full star, but I will get bent. That's for sure.
You'll get 3 stars. Smooches, oh, look at it. Mulatto loves these words, special words.
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome back, my babies. You're all my babies. I love you all. No, I'm just kidding. You're my brothers and sisters. God knows, probably a future wife. Who knows? I mean, we don't want to talk about that. But anyways, welcome back to my class. I will hope that you will enjoy this class, and probably you all know me already. 21 people in the room. I say hello to everybody, starting from Batmaniska to Marina, Mike, Picture, Venera, Ksenia, Lira, Ivan, Uncle, Margot, Olga, Anyutka, Deniska, Lily, Irina, Vladimir, Svitlana, Marina, Svitlana, and Ina. So, welcome to the class. And in this class, what we're going to talk about is actually, we're going to talk about motorcycle clubs in America. And I will show you different pictures. And I will tell you basically about this kind of like an American subculture that started, years ago when Harley Davidson motorcycles emerged in the country, and they were started to manufacture, and people started to buy them. And then all of a sudden, clubs started to come out and appear, and people started to do a lot of crazy things, and it became part of our culture. So I'm going to talk about motorcycle clubs, and at the end of the class, I'll have 15 minutes of babbling about grammar, which I hate, but I love it sometimes. And that's why I just want to only spend like 15 minutes on grammar, because I want you to completely understand the shit, and I don't want to make this lesson boring, just fully about grammar. I'm not about grammar. You watch my videos on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm all about unusual ways. So anyways, let's do this shit. So I want to basically give you an introduction. Intro means introduction, right? An introduction. Just, a quick, brief explanation about motorcycle clubs. So what I'm going to do is, in this introduction, I'm actually going to introduce you also to an American TV series. I think you guys call it serials in your own language. So I'm going to introduce you to this American TV series that is named Sons of Anarchy, okay? So what you're gonna see is this is like a snippets that are just, attached and stitched together. And it's a YouTube video clip that shows you very quickly a motorcycle club culture in California. And it's based on TV series. So it's not a real motorcycle club, but it is close to reality. Let's watch that. Let's learn a little bit about them, and then we'll start talking about motorcycle clubs.
I've been waking up every day since he was born with a sick feeling. Wondering who was gonna die today. It scares the shit out of me. And then I woke up this morning and it was gone. I think that scares me more. Since I was 5, Tara, all I ever wanted was a Harley and a cup. That's how I feel about this club.
So far from who I was, from who I love, from who I was.
Pull the trigger, man. It's the only way this leather's coming off my back.
So far from all our dreams, from what love means, from you being next to me.
You son of a bitch! Well, man, he saw the nightmare coming.
This club has lost its way.
The bond that holds this club together isn't about love or brotherhood anymore. It's just fear and greed now. How much longer do you think this club's got?
So far from seeing home, I stand out here alone. Am I asking for too much? So far from being free of the past that's haunting me, the future I just can't touch.
In that life, I have no future. All I have is distraction
And if you take my hand,
and remorse.
please pull me from the dark
sense.
We'll run side by side. No secrets left to hide. Sheltered from the pain.
When I look at my day, I realize that most of it was spent cleaning up the damage of the day before.
Look at everything we'll be facing!
Every day is a new box, boys. You open it, you take a look at what's inside. You're the one who determines if it's a gift or a coffin.
Okay, I want some participation here. I want you now to turn on your microphone for about 30 seconds to a minute or so. And watch this. You watch this promo, you watch this introduction, snippets of TV series, American TV series, got about 7 seasons or so. Now, it was very good because it kind of really verbalized and, depicted, demonstrated, showed by video a lot of things, characteristics, features of motorcycle clubs in America. Now, you saw all those images, right? So what are the words that comes, to your mind about a motorcycle club? Just one word or
Freedom.
2 words. Freedom. Okay.
Friendship,
Friendship. Exactly.
brotherhood.
Brotherhood. Yeah.
Oh, wow, girl, you surprised me.
That's why you
Why?
could become a full star. So brotherhood, friendship, freedom, all us like FF. And then what
Night.
else?
Night and speed.
Okay. Harley Davidson. Everybody was riding Harley Davidson.
Oh, yeah.
What else? I'm
Beer.
waiting for other people too. Yvonne, what comes to your mind? Mike, what comes to your mind?
Maybe leather clothes.
Letter clothes. Yeah, that's a signature. Exactly.
Come on, boss, say something.
Feel free to participate. Just one word. That's all you have to say. I would contribute one. Violence.
Really?
You saw all that shit.
Yeah, it can be. Chicks. Oh, gosh.
Exactly.
That's
Good.
great.
Chicks.
So, yeah, kind of alcohol, maybe beer, mostly.
Exactly. Alcohol. Sex. Drugs. What
I
else?
didn't want to go so far.
Rock and roll.
Sex, girls, rock and roll. Yeah.
What is that, Yvonne?
Yeah. That was Yvonne.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. What is the word?
It was rock and roll. It's like addiction to adding to sex
Yes.
and rock and roll. Yeah, it's like a freedom. It's like full exception. Full.
Yeah. I would call it that. That's a good name. That's a good name for that TV series. The TV series says Sons of Anarchy. Anarchy. Do you guys know what is the meaning of anarchy? Let me.
Yeah, I know.
Well.
Yeah.
So anarchy is a state of disorder. Is a society without government and law. It's turmoil. It's another word for that. So that's another word that comes, that I can myself associate with a motorcycle club. Now, motorcycle clubs are not really that bad. Motorcycle clubs are not really that dark. They're not really that black. They're not really criminals, as we all discussed and we saw in the TV series. Drugs and rock and roll, betrayal. Nice words. See, people are just still coming in. Chicks, yeah, Mike, good. I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention to the chat section. But
Dangerous it will be.
what is that?
Dangerous it will be like.
Just danger.
Good, exactly. Risk takers, right? They're
Yeah.
risk takers. They do drugs where in the country where Americans are the most serious people about drugs in the world. Like I can seriously tell. Oh, except I think Saudi Arabia is the most serious country about drugs, and Thailand too. But they're still so fucking serious about this shit. But they're still risk takers. They do drug business. They do gun business. They do all sorts of shit. So that's the image. And that's actually a true image too, to some extent. And that's what you understand from an American motorcycle club is exactly what most Americans also understand and perceive. These are the images they have in their mind. They perceive, they understand things and about motorcycle clubs. And these are the images that they have created in their mind about motorcycle clubs. So they're usually dangerous people. That's what they say. And it's just because the way they dress most of the time. And most of them are usually fat. It's just like big fat guys. It's not necessarily, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but they're usually, this big fat guys that want to kind of make people scared of them. Want to show presence. They want to show presence like, I'm here. This is my pack. We're a group of wolves and we go hunting together. So this group, in short, is called MC. And we talked about it. It's in the title of the lesson. What does MC stand for?
Motorcycle clubs.
Exactly. MC stands for a motorcycle club. A motorcycle club, right? So that's the first thing. And actually in the motorcycle, even if they don't want to scare them, people are afraid automatically. Yes, exactly. Because of the way they dress. Black tattoos, skulls with like the picture of a skull and bones, which like the sign of or the flag of the pirates, you know, signs of outlaws basically, signs of rebels, criminals, and things like that. So when somebody comes out, and we all have watched a lot of TV and from movies, from TV series, we know that these people are dangerous, or these are the signs of dangerous people and criminals and shit like that. So when we see when we see bikers, um, or members of a motorcycle club, automatically, without even thinking, we associate them with danger, trouble, sex, drugs, gun business, and a lot of shit. So Wild Hogs is a good one. But motorcycle club, now we know about it, and I said the word biker. Biker in general, if okay, well, first, forgot to show this shit. So this is the motorcycle club, and this is like the promo that I just showed you, right? And basically, this was, as I said, Sons of Anarchy. And as you can see, I think somewhere in a picture, is it all the same? Oh yeah, in this picture, you see in the back of their vest, this leather vest, black leather vest, it says MC in the middle. MC is exactly what we just, practiced together and we just learned together. MC stands for motorcycle club. And you will see that in the US, the back, you look at the bikers on the streets, they have a name on the top, and they also mention their states, like what state they come from. For example, this Sons of Anarchy motorcycle club was originated in the state of? In the state of? The state of. It says it on the back of the vest. What state it comes from? California. Exactly. Yes, that's it, girls and boys. So a person who wears this vest and rides a bike, it's called a biker. So a person in general, a biker is a person who rides a bicycle or a motorcycle, right? It's called a biker. Any person. But here, when in especially in the US, especially here in like, out in West, so when we're talking about, biker, we were specifically talking about members of a motorcycle club or members of a motorcycle gang, right? So a biker is a member of a motorcycle gang, and gang is just a group of people. That's basically what it means. Yeah, a group of, if we want to say the details, yeah, the gang is like a group of people who do illegal or criminal type activities, and so on and so forth. So, but for now, so we know the biker, and we know that the bikers belong to the motorcycle club. So the fact about bikers is that basically bikers are Harley lovers. And what that means is that they and basically Harley, Harley is short for Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson, right? And Harley Davidson basically is does anybody know what's Harley Davidson? We talked about it, but some people may have forgotten. What is Harley Davidson? A bike. Uh-huh. Is it a
Yeah.
bike? Okay. They also produce engines. That's cool. Yeah, that's a better, more detailed answer, let's say. For aircraft, I don't know. Rolls-Royce, I know that they produce engines for aircraft. I'm not sure about Harley Davidson. So basically, Harley Davidson is a motorcycle manufacturer in the United States, and they are based, their headquarters, the main facility, basically, their main location is in Milwaukee, state of Wisconsin. It's where the cheddar, the orange cheese. Have you guys ever seen the orange cheese? Cheddar cheese comes from. You remember when we talked about money slangs like cheddar, money was a slang for money? So motorcycle company or motor company, Harley Davidson, and they're based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And they, of course, they produce the very, very nice and beautiful Harley Davidson motorcycles. As you can see, this guy was riding. This is a motorcycle. This is a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and they're pretty famous all across the planet, right? Because they make a loud noise. Their engines are pretty powerful. They got like 6-cylinder engines. Sometimes one of them, I think they're working in an 8-cylinder, or they already have an 8-cylinder. I don't know, who the fuck knows. But they make a loud noise. If a biker is just passing by, you can hear. I'm so lucky during my lessons there's no biker around. But usually, most of the time, especially afternoon time, if you're sitting here, you can just hear bikers. So yeah, the noise is music to your ears. Oh, we got a biker girl here, huh? Let me see. Somebody shared something with me. Okay. All right. Message received, lady. um okay, so what we're gonna do, we were gonna basically talk about the next type of things. Okay, so we talked about that shit. We talked about Harley Davidson, but we talked about motorcycle club. But okay, we know about all that shit. But what is actually inside a motorcycle club? What is really inside a club? So let me see, what is this fucking picture? Okay, so now inside a motorcycle club, really. So sometimes, let's say you're here in the US with me, and we're walking down the street, and all of a sudden we come across this, kind of like shady, dingy looking place. It's kind of dark, windows are all tinted and shit. And You can't see inside. It seems like it's pretty loud. It seems like it's a bar, and you see a lot of motorcycles parked right in front of that place. You see a lot of Harley Davidson motorcycles that are right in front of that place, and they're parked parallel, nice and clean and parallel with the same distance. So and they're so obsessed with that, order and organization. So this is a motorcycle club. Actually, this building that you see at the corner, that is a real motorcycle club. However, motorcycle clubs can be like a garage too. What they do is like, they kind of, repair cars and, fix them, or motorcycles, they fix motorcycles. And then inside this building, what they do is like they have their office, where they take care of their business, because they have to run a business in order to support their club and the families of their club. But also, when they have inside they have a place that is called a chapel. Okay, or it's kind of like a church. It's chapel. Chapel is like, the place in a church where people go to pray. So this place, actually, let me put the word out for you so you can see this place is called chapel. It's a meeting room of the MC, the motorcycle club. It's a meeting room for them. And what they do is usually there are a lot of shit happening. They need to make decisions, right? They need to make decisions about a lot of things, sometimes very important stuff. And what they do is that they gather together in the chapel and they meet, and then they take votes. For example, they say we want to kick this motherfucker out because we feel like he has betrayed us and he has betrayed our club. So they go to the chapel and they make a decision about that. Or if they want to, put a new rule, because they have like a piece of paper that has got some rules of the motorcycle club. Like they say, if you want to join our motorcycle club, you have to follow the rules. And they're so strict about it. If you don't follow the rules, if you take the rules lightly, you don't follow them, full-heartedly, you're gonna see the consequences real bad. These guys are serious about that. So that's the place where they make, very, very important decisions. Sometimes they make important decisions as to like, okay, we want to kill this motherfucker just because, he did that, and who's gonna kill him, or so. I watched Sons of Anarchy. That's why I know about, well, I mean, I've hung out, some of my friends, I've had my days. And Olga, you remember, I told you, when I come to Russia, one of my plans is to buy a Harley Davidson. I've talked about it already. Is to buy a Harley Davidson and become a biker. Starting like an English-speaking bikers club with Harley Davidson. And I will do that. I'm not joking. I will do that. So, and then besides this chapel shed, they got another place that is a biker's bar, right? And a biker's bar is a place where most of you motherfuckers are so interested at, and it's a place like that, what you've seen in movies and shit like that. So they got a, this is not necessarily a biker's bar, but this kind of shows what can happen in a biker's bar. And basically, they got all sorts of shit in the bar. They are country style. You see girls just, dancing on the countertops. You see bras are hanging from the walls. I don't know exactly what this place is, but I've been to this is kind of a country bar. I've been to a country bar like that before. I have some pictures. Maybe I can share my pictures with you too. And so yeah, that's a cool place. Come over. We'll go together. Yeah. Oh, the American flag shit. I talked about it actually, in a VK post. That why Americans, especially our women, have a tendency, and they love to just put the flag on their private parts. That's the part I don't understand. It's not patriotic. It's obnoxious shit. It's obscene. So every decision. So I talked about this chapel. I talked about the chapel, and now I wanted to. What the fuck I wanted to talk about? Yes, we talked about the chapel, and now I'm gonna talk about this thing. So we know that in the chapel, important decisions are made, but every decision is brought to order by. Decisions are not final. Decisions are not final. Why the word is not here? Okay, decisions decisions are not final unless they are gavelled, right? Unless they use a gavel, right? And they hit it against that sound block. I'm going to show you a gavel. So that thing that looks like a hammer, that looks like a mallet, this thing, that's a gavel. It's called a gavel. It's like a judge in a court. And that little piece of square wood is called a sound block because it makes sound, right? So decisions are brought to order only by a gavel. A decision is not finalized, it's not final unless the head or the basically whatever the fuck is called, the head of the motorcycle club is hitting that gavel against that sound block. Yeah, the decision is gavelled or hammered down. Now it's hammered down, and that's what it means. It's like it's a nail. This is the final thing, and the nail is in. It's hammered down. Nobody can change it anymore. So it's kind of like a symbol, right? That's why they do it in the court as well. Gavel, I don't know how to call it in my native language. There's so many things in English I don't know how to call. You may know and how to say it in Russian or anything like that. So yeah, so decisions now are brought to order by a gavel because I just wanted to teach you this because it's an important part of a biker's club. It's an important part of their lifestyle. They don't make their decisions unless they hear the sound from the head. Let's see, what else I got? Okay, so now you know about the decisions. Now let's just talk about the motorcycles, right? So a chopper, basically. A chopper is a special type of Harley Davidson motorcycle that has been modified or chopped to have kind of like an extended look on the front. So I wish I could show you exactly, but you see there are two iron rods or metal rods. They're not iron. They're like two metal rods in the front that connect to the wheel, just like this. You see the guy is holding the handlebar, and then the handlebar goes down to two iron rods that are like this. They're too long. They're those two rods. Those two rods are called forks in a motorcycle, right? And then you see how long they are? They are longer than normal. So that's why it's called a chopper. Forks, yes, motorcycle. Oh man, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find forks for motorcycle. Images. Oh, it's actually took me to the shopping. Yeah, I found a picture. Front forks. See ya. So you see the front forks? Now you know what forks are. Good? Okay. Now, in this last picture that I just showed to you guys, if you pay attention, you see that the forks are extended too long. And that's why this motorcycle, it's chopped. The forks are chopped. Let's say it was the original bike did not look like this. This is actually a custom bike. But let's say originally, when they created it in the factory, it was not that long. What did they do is they modified it. They chopped it and then they made it longer. So that's called a chopper. Chopper is like a motorcycle that looks like that. It's a Harley Davidson motorcycle that looks like that. So, and also chopper is, a helicopter too. Now, but the person, again, this person who rides the motorcycle, we talk at the beginning, there's so many words that we associate these people with. And we say violence, anger, sex, rock and roll, drugs, money. So as a result of that, these people are called outlaws, right? Seriously, they're just called outlaws. Let me see what is no. They're called outlaws. Simply, outlaw, is someone who's not obeying the law and who's doing all sorts of illegal activities in the society. The members of the motorcycle clubs are sometimes called outlaws, right? Beyond the law, rebel. Exactly. It's like, someone who's not obeying the law, who's not following the order of the society. So that's, again, another common word for a biker. Say, these are all outlaws. These motherfuckers are all outlaws. They want to destroy our country. It's like some people say. So let's talk about something else that outlaws do most of the time. So, and that is the word they don't do actually. This is our next word, but this word is fender. This is like one of their slang terms, let's say. If you want to take a look at the real meaning of fender, right? And especially for those of you who have been in the US and have seen like the fender bender signs on the highways, fender is basically the part of a vehicle, right, that covers the wheel. You see that part that is separated with a cut from like the main body, the part that is right on top of the wheel. Now bumper is separate. Bumper is in the front. Fender is the one that covers the wheel. Is this round part around the wheel. Do you see that round part around the wheel? So that is called fender, right? Yeah, cool. Something like wing, exactly. But in bikers' slang term, fender has another meaning. Fender actually means a female, a lady who you invite for a ride. You see, for example, I invite my girlfriend for a ride, and she sits on the back, and then we just go, and then I call her a fender. Why do I call her a fender? Because she's sitting in the back, and as you can see, her legs in this picture, here, up here, her legs are pretty close to the rear wheels of the motorcycle, right? So when she's sitting, her legs are, oh my goodness, I can't show. Her legs are like this on the wheel, right? The wheel is here, and her legs are just around the wheel, so it looks like a fender. Oh yeah, go get a fender, boy. Go invite a lady, call her a fender, man. So it doesn't matter. Fender is just a lady. In their culture, fender is a lady who you invite for a ride. So Yamaha is not bad, bro. Japanese, all good stuff. So now you see the biker, the outlaw, and the fender lady. They all have things that are called tats or inks. So what is tat? What is tat? What is a tat, or what are tats? With double T, look. They're tattoos. That's right. Tattoo. You see that? Especially these motorcycle clubs, one of their rules is that you have to tattoo the patch. The patch. That's like somebody asked what is the shape of what that shape is called. The patch on their back. They are tattooing the patch on their back, and once they're out of the motorcycle club, they have to burn the patch. So what do? They got like a gas burner or something like that. They get a torch, literally, they get a torch, and they get the torch on their back, and then they just burn it. They just burn their skin to get rid of that tattoo. If they become, a rebel against the club, or if they betray the club, they just send them out like that. Especially those dangerous clubs who are involved in like drugs and gun business and shit like that. Sometimes even if you betray them, you're done. You're sentenced to death. So feel free to join a motorcycle club in USA. Okay, let's talk about cut. So when we hear this word, the first thing that comes to our mind is, oh, I want to cut my hair. Can I cut your hair, please, lady? Or something else can come to your mind. It's like, wow, I cut my finger. And it's, of course, it's getting better over time. A cut in your finger or something. This looks like a paper cut. But actually, in motorcycle club slang world, cut means the vest. You see the leather, the black leather vest that they wear? That's called cut. The cut, give me the cut, boy. And that is a sign of dignity. If you're wearing the cut, it means you're a part of our team and you're a great man. It's something that brings you, a sense of pride, sense of security. You got brothers who support you. So that's the cut. That's the vest. That's what they call it. It's just because it's a piece of clothing that is cut, right? And also because they love motorcycles and they always want to go everywhere with motorcycles because it's more fun than anything else. It's more fun than like driving cars and trucks around. They call this shit, they call everything other than a motorcycle a cage. So a cage is basically a car or a truck. They call it a cage because they don't like that type of shit, right? That's just how they do it. And what's happening in the chat section, girls? Anyways, I'm gonna continue. So a cage is like a car. For motorcycle, for bikers, a cage is like a car or a truck. And a cager is a person with an R at the end, cager. A cager is a person who's riding a car or a motorcycle. But coming back to the motorcycles, ape hanger. So ape hanger is a special style of handlebars in a motorcycle, right? Let me show you. So first of all, like the meaning of this shit? First of all, ape, this like monkey, chimpanzee looking animal, as you can see, with a lot of, it's so fair, it's just got a lot of hair, man. This like chimpanzee looking shit that is like, and the hanger, of course, is something that you hang from. In the case of airplanes, it's the place where airplanes go inside in order to get maintained and also to get parked. But this place, like, an ape hanger or an hanging ape here, that's like the first meaning that comes to somebody's mind, right? But again, in a motorcycle club type shit, ape hangers are these pretty long handlebars. You see, the handlebar is even higher than, so usually the handlebar is down here. So when you're, riding a motorcycle, the handlebar is here. But here in this case, and in the case of a, ape hanger is like here. It's like higher than your shoulders. Your hands are literally up. So that's why it's called an ape hanger. Or some extreme cases, look at that. That's a real photo. Of course, all these photos are real. That's, I think, somewhere like, yeah, he's literally looking like an ape. Like if you look from behind, it's like a monkey that is hanging. So that's why it's called an ape hanger, because it's a special style of it's just fun. It's just, I want to be different than anybody else. That's it. It's just creativity shit, and sometimes a little bit of dumbness too, all mixed up, and it's a deadly cocktail for a biker. So this shit is called ape hanger. Okay. Now, I want to show you a video of it's not related to Harley Davidson and it's not related to bikers, but it's about stunt bikes and a gang that is trying to, outsmart police officers and outrun them. I want to show you this. That's pretty cool. Just take a break, drink something, do whatever you want to do. Come back here. We'll have about 5 to 10 minutes of grammar, a couple of more words first, then 5 to 10 minutes of grammar, and then we'll finish the lesson by free topic, free range conversation. All right, let's do this shit. Let's watch. don't go out to the streets right now and do that shit. And Cyrus told us to do that shit. No, I didn't say any said, okay? Don't get arrested, by the way. If you have a big group of people like that, by all means, go do it. There were like three gangs of three gangs of like motorcycle bikers, basically, that joined together for this shit. There were too many of them. They couldn't stop them. They were just like passing red light. You pass red light in front of the police officer here. Good luck with that. But anyways, they did it. So, okay, we watched this. Yeah, we watched the biker video, and then let's talk about drag bars. What are the drag bars? So we talked about ape hangers, and we saw these handlebars that are pretty high up. Drag bars are the total opposite. Drag bars are down low and pretty straight. So there's no arch, there's no bending, no shit. Pretty down low and straight. It's called a drag bar. Slow to the ground. And another word is actually, some people take good care of their motorcycles. But if someone does not really take good care of the motorcycle and it kind of looks, rusty and shit and old, and looks like a motorcycle that has not been taken care of, then it would be called a rat bike. Okay? It would be called a rat bike. Look at that shit. This is a rat bike. Here, this picture. You see, it's totally run down. It's rusty. Everything about this motorcycle is just shit. I don't even think anybody would, ride this motorcycle. I don't want to because I paid for my clothes. I don't want to, get it all fucked up. Yeah, it's like, looks like a rat. It's just coming out of, the ground like mud shit. So it's kind of like a rat bike. And also, by the way, a rat by itself in the motorcycle club culture, I was not going to talk about it, actually. I totally forgot. But now, a rat is a person who betrays the club, who tells police or law enforcement about the secrets of the club, like gun business, drug business. That's a rat. And a rat should die. So never rat. So, and we got the riding bitch. Riding bitch, basically, you guys know the meaning of the bitch. Bitch literally means female dog, but again, in slang form, it's kind of like aggressive, kind of like a complaining, always complaining, a girl, a lady with totally bad behavior and shit, abusive as fuck, loud, obnoxious, all sorts of basically bad attributes, characteristics, and behaviors that you can imagine for a woman, you can find in a bitch. So a riding bitch is basically a passenger on a bike. Cool? So a riding bitch is a passenger on a bike. It doesn't matter if it's a girl, if it's a boy. It doesn't fucking matter. It's called a riding bitch. Riding bitch, passenger, not the person who rides the bike. And there's a video actually that teaches you how to bitch ride. So to bitch ride is now becoming a verb. It means to kind of sit on the back, right, and be a passenger. Now let's learn how to bitch ride.
Riding on the back of an man's motorcycle can be a dangerous threat to one's manhood, commonly known as riding bitch. Here we have our two candidates, Jimmy and Jose. Jose will be taking the rear, or bitch position. Jimmy will be our rider, as we show you how to ride bitch. Here's a few quick tips. Never look your rider in the eye. Leave a good 10-centimeter gap between rider's back and passenger's balls. And most definitely, do not massage the rider. Now we're ready to ride. The meerkat. Hold on to the rider's shoulders and sit up straight like a meerkat surveying the dangerous savannah. The teapot. One on the shoulder, another firmly on the waist, and leave plenty of room for flexing. The rodeo. Scrunch your rider's shirt like a rhinestone cowboy. Your spare arm can be used to simulate lassoing. The Siamese twins. Back to back, you've never looked more manly. Keep an eye out for tailgaters and establish dominance. That's it. Now that you've mastered the art of riding bitch, you're sure to encounter a lot of female attention. Just remember to look tough. Stare deep into their eyes and don't break contact. Hook, line, and sinker. Ah, motorcycle. 2 wheels straight to a woman's heart. Good spotting, boys. Tune in next week for the exciting episode of How to Ride a Pretty Gal on the Back of Your Bike. It's gonna be a gas.
Now you guys know how to bitch ride. Okay, somebody asked me a question. Somebody said, what is the meaning of pimp? Okay, pimp. Pimp basically is a man who cares about society and women, and he goes out there, and if there are any women who don't have any house or something like that, he accepts to kind of like, adopt them, and he accepts them inside his house, and he gives them food and clothes and money, and he takes care of them like a daddy. Well, that's not exactly a pimp. A pimp may actually do that, yes. He will find girls out in the street, and he will bring them back home, and he will give them clothes, and he will give them a lot of stuff. But that's not for that purpose. A pimp, under return, will accept the girls to become prostitutes and bring him money. That's the meaning of a pimp. I hope you got your answer. So, we sell how to bitch ride and everything else. Now, I would like to talk about a little bit about grammar. And we talk about grammar, then we can stop recording of the class, and then we can have a free range discussion about a lot of things. Now, what I'm going to talk about, based on the request that was on the page, English is fun. There was a request about different things. There was requests about articles, which I think Lochko is going to talk about on Monday. And there was another request about conditionals, and some other requests maybe in the future. So I'm going to start talking about conditionals. Conditionals can be considered a difficult topic. It's not necessarily difficult. It's easy as fuck when Cyrus is teaching you. No, but it's easy when you take your time, when you practice, and when you learn, when you really, try to utilize it in real life. And I'm going to actually show you just the first part. I'm not going to talk about all conditionals today, just one, and we're going to practice it together, okay? And I will totally act and behave like I don't know anything about grammar myself. So we're going to learn it together. So we're going to talk about if clauses, right? If clauses are basically the clauses that has, the form like if something happens. Sometimes we say then, sometimes we don't say then. Then there would be a result. And we're going to talk about real conditionals. I'm sure there are people in this room who can teach this topic much better than I do. I'm sure Vlad can do that much better than I do. I'm sure Olga Smikolova can do that better than I do. I'm sure my guest can do that better than I do. But we're going to talk about if clauses. We're going to talk about conditions. So what is the condition? So the dots immediately after if, that is a sentence that is called condition, right? And then what comes after comma, when something comes after then I put it inside parentheses because sometimes it comes, sometimes it doesn't. It depends. If something happens, then this is the outcome. So the main clause is something that comes, after the comma here, the second sentence, basically. So your condition is the first sentence, and the second sentence is your main clause. It's something you're going to do. You say, if this happens, it's like a gamble. It's like a bet. I bet you if this happens, I will take off my clothes, or something like that. So today we're going to talk about real conditionals and what it means. What does it mean? It's basically it's a real situation. It's a fact. That condition that comes after if, it's going to be a real condition. Okay? So now let's just take a look at it. And I will tell you exactly what I mean by real condition and shit like that. So now I prepared this table for you. Now, if you want to just take a look at this table, the condition or the sentence that comes after if, in all the cases, if you look at the first column on the left, in all the cases, it's a real condition. It means that it is something that happens in real life. It happens in real world. For example, the first one, it says, if the weather changes suddenly. The second one says, if it snows a lot tonight. You know, it's a real condition. It happens. If you have time, if it rains, you see, all of them are real conditions, are facts that can happen in life. And they're all stated in one form. And that form is a simple present tense. Look at all of them, all four cases. They are all the conditions. If I don't eat sandwiches, if there's an example in the chat section, if I don't eat sandwiches, yeah, it's a simple present tense. You can use it in negative form, right? It's not just positive form. You can use it in negative form as well. So they're all, it's a condition that comes after if, and if that condition is met. A condition, when we say a condition is met, it means when that condition becomes real. Is we say if that condition becomes real, then the result. What would be the result? Look at the second column. Result or main clause. So, and that's your second sentence basically. The first one says, if the weather changes suddenly, the result will be, I get a headache. It's a simple present tense. It's factual. It will not say, I will get a headache, because when you say, I will get a headache, it means that you are predicting. You are not sure about the certainty, whether you will get the headache or not. But when you say, if the weather changes suddenly, I get a headache, it means it happens all the time. It's a fact. Okay? The second column, though, it's about certainty. Certainty is like, I'm not sure if it will happen or not, but this is a possibility. This is an option. This can happen. For example, it says, if it snows a lot tonight, so if it's a real condition, it is always, condition is always simple present tense. Now we know it. Okay, so if it snows a lot tonight, we're not gonna say if it will snow tonight. No, that's wrong. So if it snows a lot tonight, then the result will be they will call off school tomorrow. Call off means, you know, to cancel, to close, to tell you to not to go. So they will call off school tomorrow. That's a future tense, right? Now, it's a prediction. He's not sure if they will really call off the school. That's why he used it in like the future tense. He's not sure, because if he has like a manager, a babushka manager who is very serious about school and wants everybody to go to the school and sometimes wants to kind of like, you know, play with the kids and make them angry and shit, says, haha, it's snowing a lot. You guys are still gonna come to school, you fuckers. You thought that I'm gonna call off? No, for example. That's why it says will call off school tomorrow, because it's uncertain, but it's a possibility. It can happen. Now, if you look at the third row, and of course the third column is very nice. I love this, the third column, because in that third column, I'm basically telling you what is happening, what is the meaning of this sentence in general, and why are we formulating it this way. If you have time, for example, again, simple present, always simple present if it's a real condition, you should visit the local museum. You should visit, so you have a modal plus verb. Oh, modals also, I think Filochko is going to talk about. But again, if it's an advice, if it's a suggestion, or it's a warning for the future, you can use a modal plus verb, right? So you should visit the local museum. If you have time, you should visit. He doesn't want to, just like, if you have time, just go and visit the local museum. No, 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 no. He doesn't want to be assertive about that. He does not want to command. It's a suggestion. It's an advice. You should visit the local museum. I'm not going to force you to go to the local museum. You can go if you want. And then the last one says, if it rains, it's simple present tense. Don't open the windows. Again, it's imperative here. Now it's commanding. It's an instruction. You know, it gives you an instruction. It gives you like, don't fucking do this. Don't open the windows. If it rains, don't open the windows. It doesn't say, you should not open the windows. No, I'm not giving you the advice. It's not an advice. It's an order. Okay? So now you have seen different forms of it. And these are all different forms that can ever happen in real conditionals. I don't think it will ever be anything outside of this. And remember that remember that the condition is always as a simple present tense, and the result can be simple present, or it could be a future tense if it's about uncertainty, you're not sure if it's going to happen, or if it's a suggestion, it could be modal plus verb, or it could be in the form of a simple present, but imperative form. Don't open, don't do this, don't do that, or things like that, basically. Now, so these are the rules that we just talked about. I can actually send them to the chat section so that you guys can probably download this and have it in your computer, and you can revisit this stuff and you can learn later. So for the first two pictures, I already posted links in the chat section, and you can download them if you want. Now, the rules. What are the rules? Rule number one, real conditions express situations that can happen in the present or future. They are often used when stating facts. Facts is like real things, things that can happen. General knowledge, habits, predictions, advice, or instructions. Okay? Now we know when we are going to use real conditions, when we're trying to state facts, like when water, for example, if it rains. It's a prediction, right? You're gonna get a headache. It's you predict something that becomes your habit, the result, and things like that. Or if I go and watch the game, the football game tonight, I will do this, for example. So you're stating facts, or you're just giving some instructions of things like that. So real conditions. So the condition by itself is in the present factual, use the simple present. And you remember I told you the condition is always in simple present. The verb in both the if clause and the result. The result and of course the condition are both in the present form. Real conditions in the future, which means a real possibility, okay? Use the simple present tense form of the verb in the if clause plus modal or modal phrase. Should, can, could, may, might, will, be going to, have to. And the base form of the verb or the imperative in the result clause. So again, what it's saying is that if it's about real possibility, if it's about something that potentially can happen in the future, hey, chat section, chill it. We can discuss it later. If it's a real possibility for the future, basically you will use the modal plus a modal phrase, or a modal phrase basically, right? Like be going, you can use should, can, could, may, might, will, or be going to, or have to, and the base form. The base form is just like, the form without ing, without the ed, which makes the past form of a verb, and things like that. And then we talked about it. And then the rule number 4 is that like the negative forms of the verb can be used in the condition or result clause both. So you can negate your verbs also. And now I'm going to send this rule to the chat section as well. Did I already send it? Yes. Wait a second. I already sent 2. But anyways, you guys can download these pictures though. So you have it now. You have the rules and you have the first table that I talked about. Now, don't worry. We talk about it and then we practice. If you still have questions after the practice, we can stay after the class, or you can send me messages on VK or Facebook and we can talk about it. Now, this one, let me send it to the chat section. This is like what not to do when we are dealing with a real conditional. These are like the common errors that learners make. I told you, for example, when I was teaching at the very beginning. So it is wrong to say if it will rain tonight. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, raining tonight. It's not tonight yet. It's in the future. So we should use like will rain. I know why you're thinking that way, because you were told that this is future. So you have to use will. But actually, there's a rule. And if it's a real condition, which means raining here, raining is a real condition, right? You have to use it. You have to obey the rules. You have to follow the rules. You can't be an outlaw. You can say, I can use the future. So if this is a condition, it means that it can rain every night. It's not just tonight. It can rain every night. So you have to use the present, simple present form of the verb. It says, if it rains tonight, I would call you for a ride home. Do not use will or be going to in the if clause, in the first clause. You can use it in the second clause, in the results. Or for example, tornadoes can cause severe damage to a building if they touch down. I'm just waiting for you to read and think about it a little bit. So it says basically, do not use a comma after the result clause. Use a comma after the if clause. So if you are writing your sentences in this way instead of using if, so if you're bringing if at the beginning of the sentence, then you will have to use the comma after the if clause. But if you are bringing the result first, so if you're talking about the results, for example, tornadoes can cause severe damage to a building if they touch down, then you don't use any comma. You don't use any comma here. Now, let's just practice some stuff together. Okay. Now, the first one. What do you guys think in the chat section is the correct answer? So we say every weekend, if the weather is nice, I will spend or spend time outside. I want to see more answers. I want to see more answers. No answers? Come on. I'm doing this for myself. Okay, somebody said will spend. Somebody said I spend. Okay. Will spend. Spend. Zamira said spend. Okay. Who else wants to participate? Okay, your 30 seconds has passed. Okay, so spend is the right form. Spend is the right form because it's not about certainty or it's not about like uncertainty. It's not like I'm not sure. It says every weekend. Every weekend. It means it's a habit. It means it's a fact. It means I do it every weekend. So, I mean, that is making it obvious. If the weather is nice, I spend time outside with my children. So the key to this was every weekend. Because, you know, every weekend, you don't say every weekend, I may or I may not. You don't use it that way. If you are not sure, you don't say every weekend. You say, on weekends, I may or I will do this, probably. Okay? When he says every weekend, it means it's a habit. And when it's a habit, just use the present simple form. Let's move on to the next sentence. Okay. Let's see. Somebody will like to. Samira, turn on your microphone and read the second sentence. Samira. Okay. Yvonne, turn on your microphone and read the second sentence.
One of the favorite things to do is to go to the nearby park. To a nearby park.
Continue.
If we ride our bikes to the park, it will take about 10 minutes.
So that's your choice. It will take.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see other people's choice, and then I'll talk about this. Thank you, Yvonne. So what is your choice for number 2?
Yeah, I think number 2.
Lily says take. Okay. Yvonne said will take. Actually, it's takes. Okay, good. Iman, you want to participate too? Zamira, what is your choice for number 2? Iman, your choice. Marina, Parisava, Uncle Dima, you guys go ahead, participate, make a guess. Whoa, Venera, thank you. Will take. Okay, Venera said will take. Zamira says takes. And I will ask one of you to explain why you say takes. LQ. Okay. Who else? Okay. I'm going to say takes is correct. And Zamira, come up and say why do you think takes is correct?
Oh, well, it doesn't change. The distance is always the same, and it usually takes. It is just a fact.
Thank you. Exactly. It always takes the same amount of time. It's not like it will take. When you say it will take, is like you're not sure if it will be 10 minutes or 9 minutes or 15 minutes or half an hour. When you say it will take, again, it's about uncertainty. It's about probability when you use the future tense, right? Here you are going to use the simple present tense just simply because of the fact that you know that it always takes 10 minutes if you ride your bike to the park. Okay, now Lily, read the sentence after that from if there.
Number 3. Okay, if there a lot of traffic, it takes a little longer. Okay, so I guess here is if there is a lot of traffic, it takes a little longer. You are muted, Cyrus.
Let's see what other people will say about it. Good, Yvonne. Next. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Give me an answer. I'm gonna come back to you. Okay. Try to look at the rules. I posted the rules in the chat section. Look at the rules. The rules will help you all the time. The rules will help you all the time. Ah, nice, Vinay. Everybody is saying agree with Lily. Okay, Lily is agreed with. Yes, exactly. And why? Lily, do you want to explain why you used is in this case?
Well, because it's nothing about a future. It's just the usual situation. It's like that every day. So it takes a little longer if there is a lot of traffic. So that's kind of my, I don't know how to explain it better because I never, I didn't start learning English from the grammar. So it's a bit difficult to explain the grammar for me, but this is how I feel it. It should be like that. It sounds stupid, I know. Sorry. You are muted.
That's good. No, that's good. Well, yes, that's good that you said it's a real fact, but there was another reason that we mentioned. And the reason for that is because if you remember, there was a rule. You remember? I said, yes, tonight is futures. In your mind, you will say, oh, it makes sense to use will, you know? But I said there is a rule and we should all obey the rule. And the rule is that if it's in the if clause, and this sentence is in the if clause, it's before comma, right? It's before comma, it's in the if clause. If it's in the if clause, you always use simple present. You remember that? If it's in the if clause, you always use simple present. That's why you chose is, and that's why it's the correct answer here. That's good.
Okay.
Yes. Mike, you want to go with the next, starting from once we get to the park? Okay, Mike is not here. We can start with someone else. Who wants to take on this sentence? Would like to read it for me? Olga Smekolova, would you like to? Once we get to the park?
Would I like to start?
Okay, start. Do you see the picture?
No.
Okay, let me share it again. Do you see the picture now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, now look at the fourth oh, you may not seen the rule, but it's okay, you can try. So the fourth sentence, once we get to the park.
Where is it?
Fourth line, the sentence
Once
after the
we
full
get-
stop. Once we
Yeah.
get to the park.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, go on. Once we get to the park.
Oh, once we get to the park, the kids choose their favorite playground equipment to play on. Next
Go on.
one. Jeffrey likes the climbing walls, but if he climbs too high, I start to get nervous.
Okay, now Olga said climbs. What is your choice, guys? What will you choose? Same, same, same. Great, awesome. You guys are amazing. Olga, do you want to tell us why you chose climbs?
Because we do not use will in the same part with if.
Exactly. If it's the if clause, and if you're stating a real condition, this is a real condition. This is going to happen, right?
Yeah, that's possible to happen.
It will happen. It's a
Mhm.
real
Will.
condition, right?
Yeah, sure.
So that's why if it's in the if clause, we always use the present simple. If
Mhm.
it's in the if clause and it's a real condition, we always use present simple, and that's why. Again, okay, so you start to get nervous. I read the next one. Venera, do you want to read the next one? I always have to remind him.
Who did you ask to read?
She is not among participants here, Cyrus, so
Yeah.
she will
Okay.
cannot answer.
Iman, do you want to try? Okay, I read this one. I'll give the next one to you, Iman, if you can. If you cannot talk, just let me know in the chat section. I always have to remind him, if you are not careful, you apprentices fall or will fall, choose one of them, and hurt yourself. If you're not careful, you'll fall or will fall. Which one? Will fall. Okay. Nice. Okay, now I would like to ask myself, why would I choose will fall? And that's right, will fall. If you're not careful, you will fall and hurt yourself. Why not fall? Because Yvonne wants to say, okay. Yvonne, you want to say?
Yeah, because it's just possibility, just prediction.
Exactly. Exactly. It's just because it's not certain you will fall. Yeah, you can still be not careful and not fall. Which in that case you'll be a super lucky motherfucker. Now the next one, Uncle Dima, if you want to read, you can read. Feel free to do that.
Sorry, guys. What should I read?
Do you see the picture that I'm sharing?
I was away. Yeah, I see.
Oh,
I see.
okay.
What's the
So
number? 6? Or
after number number
5?
five, the next line says his reaction is usually to roll. Go ahead and read that.
His reaction is usually to roll his eyes at me. Go on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go on.
My daughter Cherry loves to play on the CSO.
On the
On the
seesaw.
CSO. On the way to the park, she almost always asks me, "Mom, if she or if the um, will no play for me to play with or yeah."
Hmm. No, I'm just go ahead and choose something, and then we'll wait for everybody. For number 6, you choose will be, and okay, and now after comma, read the next. Number 7.
7, okay.
What's for
Will
number
you go on
7?
the what does it mean CSO? Is it
Seesaw.
some instrument?
Yes, it's an instrument. You know, there are like two people sit on the sides of the seesaw on the sides. It's a tutter. Let me show you. Let me share a picture with you
Okay.
of a seesaw. This is a seesaw.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Yeah. I see.
So number 6, you said, Mom, if there will be no one, that's what you said. If there will be no one for me to play with, and then you said, will you go on a seesaw with
Will
me?
you go on the CSO with me if
Okay, thank you. Let's just ask her.
if she finds
Go.
someone to play with at the park, she will the entry time on the seesaw
Okay, Dima.
sometimes. What?
Now stop here.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the answers. Let's take a look at the answer for number 6. What is the answer to number 6? Okay, well,
Will, I guess will.
Zamira says is. Lily says will. Olga says is.
No, I said for number 6 it's is,
Okay.
and for 7 is will.
And Yvonne says,
Yeah, I'm confused. Yeah, there is no one.
okay.
Nobody says
Why
they
is?
will. No one.
Why is for number 6? Venera, thank you. Why is Dima?
Because if how to explain, somebody calculate people or some stuff, they is or they are always, not they will.
Remember the rules that I talked
I don't
about?
know how to explain.
If a
They is,
sentence,
they are.
remember the rule that I talked about? If a sentence is in the if clause, the sentence that comes immediately after if, and that's the sentence here, you use present simple. If it's a real condition, you use present simple. And that's why you say, if there is no one for me to play with, it's a real condition, first. Second, it's coming after if clause. It's your condition. So it is in simple present. Done. So immediately you can just say will be gone. Now for number 7, You said, will you go on the seesaw with me? Lily also said, will you go on the seesaw with me? Now, other people, do you want to take a choice here?
Why do you want to go? I don't know. It's not correct. Sam, do you go on this show with me?
Will you?
Will go on? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now
So
let's Zamira
will.
to talk about this and explain it to you.
That is something probable in the future. Yes, that's why we use will.
Yes, you're using it. If your mother or your father were it's a possibility.
You know, they are two, choice. You can say like do and will.
But if you want to suggest, like I'm suggesting, hey mommy, hey daddy, will you please go with me to the seesaw? I'm suggesting. I'm not forcing you to do something, okay? And it's when you're suggesting, you can either use modals or here in this case, because you are first of all not sure that will do that. Second of all, you're suggesting to her. You're not, commanding her to do it. So the choice here is will. You don't use do.
Okay. In that case, you can say let's go on the seesaw, yeah, or you will.
Go on the seesaw again. It's she wanted to like here. She wanted to be like yes, you can command. You can make imperative forms. It's like go on the seaside with me. But here in this case, you don't want to say that because she wants to be polite. She wants to ask her mother. She wants to give her a choice. She doesn't want to force her mother to go on the seaside in the seesaw. Okay, thank you for that. Now, Lily, go for number 8. If she number 8, go on.
Okay. If she someone to play with at the park, she the entire time on the seesaw.
So
So, sorry?
what is your choice for number 8?
Yeah, give me just 1 second, I will tell you. So, for number 8, if she finds someone to play, and for 9, she will spend the entire time on seesaw. I cannot hear you. Okay, it's something with your speakers or something with my microphone. I still cannot.
What finds number 8?
Sorry, what?
What finds for number 8?
Because it's sort of Lori. Please. I'm sorry. Okay, you want me to explain why? Just
The first question. Ask your
it's like the probability, that it's not. God, why you?
I want to
Okay.
ask some questions here. Number 8.
I cannot understand what you're talking, guys. It is only my problem.
No, try to mute yourself for a second and we'll find out because as I could notice, it works.
Okay,
No.
how about now? Is it better now?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yes.
Okay. So now I said I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions to make this clear. Now, for number 8, is the sentence that contains number 8 in the if clause or it's in the conclusion? It's in the result.
Yes.
Is number 8 in the if clause or it's in the result?
It's in the if clause, of course.
Exactly. And we mentioned if there is a real condition and the sentence is the if clause, then we always use
Finds and not will find.
present simple. Present simple.
Yeah.
We always use present
Whatever is called that shift, we use this. I'm sorry.
Oh man, you're using even the conditionals.
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm not like not a big specialist in tenses and all of that.
You are. That's why I'm teaching you grammar, because I know you're not a big specialist.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so that's
Kind of break my reputation now, you know.
So nice of him.
Cyrus. So,
Okay,
Cyrus, I have a question for you. On the in the five sentence, can you see the last several words like to roll his eyes at me? Roll. What does it mean? Roll in five sentences.
when you get upset at someone, you usually roll your eyes. You know that you turn your eyes away.
Can I say that in Russian to him?
Let's say it in Russian.
Yeah. Do you understand Russian, right?
No.
No? Okay.
Yes, come on, he doesn't understand what you're saying right now. Let's say it in Russian.
Roll. What does it mean?
Ты же по-русски
I
говоришь,
heard.
правильно?
Sorry?
Ты по-русски говоришь?
Да.
Отлично. Тогда это закатить глаза. Знаешь, когда недоволен или от удивления, закатываешь глаза так.
Потому что я слышал, знаешь, в каком-то предложении let's roll.
Okay,
Да.
that's good.
Это была другая ситуация, потом объясню.
Okay, great. Now you have the answer?
I guess
Dima,
I
you got
understood.
your answer? Okay. All right. Anyway, so
Believe me, I understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it's in the if clause, we're going to use the simple present, and that's why we use finds. But for number 9, we'll use will spend. Again, it's in the condition, it's in the result. It's the main clause. It's the result of that if. If that happened, then what's going to happen here is like she will spend the entire time on the seesaw. We're not sure if she really spend all her time on the seesaw, but that is a possibility. That is a possibility. That can happen. So, and then the last one I'm going to do it myself. After an hour or so, the kids and I ride our bikes back home. On the way, I tell them, if the weather is nice next weekend, what is the correct answer? We'll come back or we come back. Exactly. Thank you very much. We will come back because she doesn't want to make a promise here. She doesn't want to make a promise here. She doesn't want to make 100%. She doesn't want to 100%, get committed to this promise. That's why she said we will be back. So that was your real conditionals. That was the first part. And I'm sure you learned something here. I hope so. I don't know. I'm not very good at teaching grammar and shit like that. I've never done it in the past in my life. But hopefully you got it. Okay? You hopefully understand and you can use it from now on in your daily conversations. Probably next time I will talk about unreal conditions and conditionals, of course, with if clauses, and then we'll talk about wish and other stuff as we go. But I just wanted you to completely learn. So all the pictures that I sent to the chat section, download them, have them, review them. They're going to be useful to you. Okay? I don't know. Probably I will make some YouTube videos, but I just want to make them fun. I don't want to make grammar videos of standing in front of a fucking whiteboard and getting a marker in my hand and really explaining shit. I'll try to make it fun. Probably I know how to do that. I guess I know how to do that. Let's play. Okay. That was our today's lesson. Anybody wants to talk? Any last word of wisdom?
As usual, me and Volga wants to talk.
Oh, yes.
What is the movie tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah. Can
Cyrus, get closer to the microphone or do something with that.
It's gonna be tomorrow at 8 p.m. same time.
I mean, can I advise the movie?
Yes, you can
By
suggest.
the way, Cyrus, I sent you once a movie and maybe you forgot about it.
Was that in YouTube?
Uh-huh.
If it's not in YouTube, I can.
It is. It is from
Wait
YouTube,
a
of
second.
course.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
If it's not in YouTube, I will not be able to use.
It
No,
is,
it's
Cyrus. It
YouTube.
is on YouTube.
Good, great. Good job. If you can, please resend it to me. Also, Dima, you go ahead and send your movie. If these movies, we can use them, once one of them we can use this weekend, we can use another one another weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Give me a second. I will send you
I
the
will.
link with
Yeah, I will send.
the movie.
Great.
It
Thank
was
you.
a nice one. Maybe not the best, but it's a nice one.
Okay, that's great. Again, boobs and nudity and other
Oh,
stuff
it's not
involved or not?
about the books, but it's funny. Some moments, and yeah, I liked it.
Uh-huh. Okay. What
Okay.
else? Oh, Irina is here. Irina, you can also suggest a movie. Natalia, you can suggest one too. Zamir, you can do that. Jan, Liera. Okay. So,
Cyrus, do you want? Cyrus, do you want that I send you link or in chat box or private?
no, VK. Send it in private message in VK.
Okay. Right now, yeah.
Yeah. You can send a private message in VK, and then I'll take a look at them for sure.
Okay.
Ivan is my man. Only nudity. Oh yeah, baby.
Cyrus.
Hallelujah.
Here it is. Take it.
Send it a private message, Lily.
Yeah, I did just now. Don't you
A
see
private
that?
message on VK or on Facebook.
Oh gosh. Why here it is not good? Just click on it and it will open and you will watch.
Oh, I cannot open that video because it's blocked in the US.
What? Are
Copyright
you
rules,
freaking
girl.
kidding me?
Copyright rules.
What about this one?
But just maybe I give you the title and you find it in.
No, I will not be able to find it. Let me sure because I've tried it, Lily, before.
Cyrus, I sent you.
Okay, I'm checking. Let me see. Let me check. Just wait a second. Okay, YouTube. Let's open this up. I can open your movie.